English Leap Podcast.
From Speak English with Class.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Leap Podcast. I'm your host Jennifer, and right here with me is my co-host Daniel.
Hi everyone, it's great to be back. And Jennifer, I'm excited about today's topic. I think it's something we all need, sometimes more than we realize.
Definitely. Today we'll talk about discipline and self-control. We'll share some stories, give tips, and of course have some fun while we learn. So, Daniel, are you ready?
Absolutely. And to all our listeners, remember, we're here to make English easy and interesting. If you learn something new today, then we've done our job.
Oh, before we go further, don't forget there's a free PDF with all the key points from today's episode. So make sure to check it out in the description below. It's perfect if you want to follow along or review later.
So Jennifer, let me ask you a question. Have you ever found it hard to stay away from your phone when you should be working?
Oh, Daniel, don't get me started. I think my phone has a magnetic pull. I mean, who hasn't planned to just check one message and then, boom, an hour is gone?
Right. I know that feeling. It's like 1 minute you're checking a message and the next you're watching cute dog videos.
Exactly. And it's not just about phones. It could be food, games, or even hitting the snooze button in the morning. Staying in control is tough, right?
It really is. But that's why we're talking about this today, because we all face these challenges and we can learn how to deal with them together.
So let's start with understanding discipline and self-control. Daniel, how would you explain discipline?
Well, Jennifer, I'd say discipline is doing what you need to do, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's like getting up early for work on a cold Monday morning. You'd rather hit snooze and stay under the covers, but you get up because you know you have to.
Oh, I know that feeling, especially when your bed feels extra comfy. I used to struggle with waking up for early workouts. I'd set my alarm for 5:30 a.m. and keep it across the room. That way, I had to physically get up to turn it off. Once I was out of bed, it was easier to start my day. That little change helped me stick to my morning routine.
That's a smart move. It shows how discipline sometimes needs a little push. And self-control, on the other hand, is about resisting things you know aren't good for you, like saying no to that extra slice of pizza when you're trying to eat healthier. It takes effort, but it's a skill you can build over time.
Speaking of self-control, that reminds me of last month when I was trying to cut back on caffeine. I'd always stop at my favorite coffee shop on the way to work. The smell of freshly brewed coffee was so tempting, but I told myself, just walk past it today. It wasn't easy at first, but after a week, it got easier. It's amazing how small wins can build up your self-control.
It's true. Those little victories make a big difference. It's like when you're trying to focus on work, but your phone keeps buzzing. You have to resist the urge to check it, even if you're just curious. The more you practice that, the stronger your discipline and self-control become.
And speaking of consistency, that's where habits come into play. You know, when you make something a habit, it becomes a lot easier to stick with. Like, if you always go for a walk after dinner, soon you won't even think twice about it. It'll just be part of your day.
Exactly. Habits are like shortcuts for your brain. Once something is a habit, it doesn't take as much effort to do it. I had a friend who wanted to read more, but he said he didn't have the time, so he started keeping a book in his car. Every time he waited in the pickup line at his child's school, he'd read a few pages. Eventually, it became a habit, and now he reads a couple of books a month.
That's such a good example. It shows that habits don't have to be big to be effective. Starting small is key. I mean, if you try to go from not running at all to running 5 miles every day, you'll probably give up pretty quickly. But if you start with just a short jog around the block, it feels more doable.
And those small steps really do make a significant difference over time. It's like saving a little bit of money each week. At first, it doesn't seem like much, but after a while, you've got a nice savings built up. Speaking of which, that reminds me of delayed gratification. It's the idea of waiting for something better instead of taking the instant reward.
Oh, yeah. Delayed gratification is like choosing not to buy that expensive gadget now so you can save up for a big vacation later. It's not easy to wait, especially when you really want something. I had to learn this lesson in college when I was saving up for a spring break trip. I had to skip some nights out with friends because I knew if I kept spending, I wouldn't have enough for the trip. It was tough, but when I finally made it to the beach, it was so worth it.
Absolutely. It's like that famous marshmallow test with kids. You know, where they gave kids a choice: eat one marshmallow now or wait 15 minutes and get 2 marshmallows. It sounds simple, but it's really about teaching ourselves to hold out for something better.
And it's not just about money or stuff. It can be about health, too. Like skipping dessert because you know you're working toward a fitness goal. At first, it feels like a sacrifice, but as you start seeing results, it gets easier to keep saying no.
That's true, Jennifer. But staying disciplined isn't always easy. There are challenges, especially when life gets stressful. When we're stressed, we tend to look for quick comfort, like junk food or binge-watching TV shows. It's our brain's way of dealing with all the pressure.
Oh, I totally get that. I remember last year during tax season, work was so busy, and I was stressed out. I'd come home and just eat a ton of snacks because it felt good at the moment. But then I noticed it wasn't making me feel any better in the long run. I had to find healthier ways to manage stress, like taking a walk or doing some breathing exercises.
That's a smart approach, Jennifer. Finding healthier ways to manage stress can really help. Speaking of managing things, let's talk about some strategies for developing discipline. When you want to build discipline, it's like building a muscle. You need to start small and gradually increase the weight.
Exactly. It's like going to the gym. You wouldn't start with the heaviest weights on day one. You'd start with something lighter and build up over time. The same goes for discipline. If you want to start waking up earlier, don't suddenly set your alarm 2 hours earlier than usual. Start by setting it 15 minutes earlier, then 30 minutes, and so on.
That reminds me of something I heard once: habit stacking. It's when you add a new habit onto something you already do. Let's say you always make coffee in the morning. You could use that time to do a quick stretch while the coffee's brewing. It helps you create a new routine without feeling overwhelmed.
That's a great technique. I actually started doing that with reading. I wanted to read more, so I made it a habit to read for 10 minutes after lunch every day. Since I was already taking a break, it was easy to add in a little reading time. Before I knew it, I was finishing a book every month.
What about you, listeners? Do you have any habits you've stacked successfully? Share them with us in the comments.
Yes, we'd love to hear your experiences. Little by little, these small habits add up over time.
Exactly. And that's where motivation and willpower come into play. You know, motivation is great for getting started, but it doesn't always stick around. Willpower is what helps you push through when you're not feeling motivated.
Oh, totally. Motivation is like that excitement you feel when you start a new project or set a goal, but it's not always there, especially when things get tough. I remember trying to keep up with my New Year's resolutions. I was super motivated in January, but by February, that excitement was wearing off. That's when I had to rely on willpower to keep going.
Yep, motivation is kind of like a spark. It lights the fire, but you need willpower to keep it burning. And willpower isn't infinite. That's why it's a good idea to tackle the hardest tasks early in the day when your willpower is stronger. It's like trying to get homework done right after school rather than waiting until late at night.
Exactly. And when you're running low on willpower, little tricks can help you stay on track. I sometimes give myself mini rewards, like a piece of dark chocolate after I finish a tough task. It's a small thing, but it helps keep me going.
I do the same. It's like giving yourself a little pat on the back. But another thing that really helps is mindfulness and self-awareness. When you're aware of your habits and how you're feeling, it's easier to stay disciplined. It's like catching yourself reaching for your phone out of boredom. When you're mindful, you can ask yourself, do I really want to do this? Or am I just trying to avoid something?
Speaking of self-awareness, that's so true, Daniel. It's about being present and paying attention to what you're doing. I remember I used to stress eat without even realizing it. Once I started practicing mindfulness, I noticed those moments when I was reaching for snacks just because I was anxious. Now, instead of grabbing a snack, I take a few deep breaths or go for a quick walk.
Mindfulness also helps with self-control because you're more aware of your triggers. If you know you tend to get distracted when you're tired, you can plan ahead, like taking a short nap or having a cup of tea to recharge before starting work again. It's about understanding yourself and what makes it hard to stay disciplined.
Absolutely. It's like knowing your strengths and weaknesses. When you're aware of the moments that test your self-control, you can prepare for them. And that leads us to balancing discipline with flexibility. It's important to be disciplined, but you also need to give yourself some grace.
Right? Life happens, and sometimes things don't go as planned. If you're too rigid, you might feel frustrated when you miss a workout or don't stick to your schedule. It's okay to adjust your plans. Like if you plan to go for a run, but it's pouring rain outside, doing a quick indoor workout is still better than doing nothing.
Yes, Daniel. Discipline is about progress, not perfection. If you're trying to eat healthy but end up having pizza with friends one night, it doesn't mean you failed. It just means you enjoyed yourself, and you can get back on track the next day.
Exactly. It's like taking a detour when there's traffic. You're still heading in the right direction. You just had to adjust your path a bit. The key is to stay flexible and keep moving forward.
I think that's the perfect way to look at it. Life isn't always straightforward, so being able to adapt while staying focused on your goals is what really makes discipline work.
So that brings us to the end of today's conversation. We hope you found our discussion on discipline and self-control helpful.
Yes, and before we wrap up, let's bring in Charlotte for the vocabulary breakdown. She'll help us understand some of the key words, phrases, and idioms we use today.
That's right. Charlotte is here to make sure we've got all the important vocabulary covered. Take it away, Charlotte.
Thanks, Jennifer and Daniel. Hi again, everyone. Let's go over a few keywords from today's conversation that you can use to improve your English. I'll explain their meanings and give you examples of how to use them in everyday situations. Discipline. Discipline means doing what you need to do, even if you don't feel like it. It's about staying committed to your goals and following a routine. Example: waking up early every day requires a lot of discipline. Self-control. Self-control is the ability to resist temptations and avoid doing things you know aren't good for you. Example: it takes self-control to skip dessert when you're trying to eat healthy. Delayed gratification. Delayed gratification means waiting for a bigger or better reward instead of taking something smaller right away. Example: saving money for a vacation instead of buying a new phone is an example of delayed gratification. Hit snooze. To hit snooze means to delay getting up by pressing the snooze button on your alarm clock. It's often used when you want to stay in bed longer. Example: I hit snooze 3 times this morning because I didn't want to get up. Willpower. Willpower is the ability to control your actions, emotions, or urges, especially when you're tempted to do something else. Example: it takes a lot of willpower to keep studying when your friends are going out. Build up over time. When something builds up over time, it means it gradually increases or becomes stronger with time. Example: Small savings can build up over time and turn into a large amount. Pat on the back. Pat on the back is show of praise or approval. Example: after finishing that big project, I gave myself a pat on the back. Manage stress. To manage stress means to take actions to reduce stress levels or cope with stressful situations. Example: exercise and meditation are great ways to manage stress. Flexibility. Flexibility means being able to adapt to different situations or changes. It's the opposite of being rigid or strict. Example: it's important to have flexibility in your schedule in case something unexpected comes up. So that wraps up all the key words, phrases, and idioms from today's conversation. I hope you found this helpful and feel more confident using these expressions.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. That was incredibly helpful.
Yes, we really appreciate it. Expanding your vocabulary is such an important part of improving your English skills.
And with that, we're wrapping up today's episode. Don't forget to download the PDF for today's episode. It has all the vocabulary, phrases, and practice exercises we covered. If you enjoyed the podcast, leave us a comment, give us a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and remember, every step you take brings you closer to fluency.
Bye for now, and keep leaping towards your English goals. Until next time, happy learning.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.